We're recording? Yeah.
Are we? Okay.
Fucking he beat Goku! That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. You know why? Because Obi-Wan Kenobi might be powerful, but Goku is the strongest.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. I just put on that. I put on the hat before we started recording, and I figured I had to just bring attention to Goku.
Like, wow, that. I don't even. Wow, that caught me off guard, big time.
That was the whole point of that.
But it's very true.
Here's the thing about Goku, though. He exists in a different universe, so we can't compare apples to apples because Goku is more like honeydew melon. You look at it and you just use it as decoration, but you probably wouldn't eat the honeydew. You just look at it and go, oh, that looks good in that bowl of fruit, and then you pick around it and you go, yuck, and you throw it away at the end.
I don't know what you're talking about. I like honeydew.
Really? Jesus Christ, you're the first and only person I've ever heard of that says that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's gross.
Dude, honeydew's bomb.
It's nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. Everybody's like, "Oh, that shit's gross." Cheers.
Oh yeah. I feel like this is one of those things where it should be like, all right, people, put in the comments, do you like honeydew?
No, you don't because it's gross. Nobody likes honeydew. Give me a second.
Everyone likes honeydew. You're crazy.
You ever seen those skits? Hi, I'm Matt.
Doesn't change the fact that honeydew's good.
Sucks, dude. Oh my god. Okay, fine.
All right.
Honeydew's good, but all right.
I guess we're
Back
getting
to the
back
topic.
into Star Wars now.
Topic on hand. I made some little shirts with little
Yes,
logos.
Get in the character.
Yeah, I was first I tried making the Republic symbols, but I couldn't make them right, so I was like, we're gonna be Jedis now.
Yeah, this works.
So, to start, welcome back to episode 3
Yes.
of Caffeinated Super Nerds presents Pablo Talks to His Friends. And today we've got Josh again for the third time. We are here to talk about Clone Wars, which comes after the movie Attack of the Clones. So last episode we did nothing but shit on Star Wars.
Damn near.
And
yeah.
honestly, I was like, damn, dude. I was a little heartbroken because I was like, where did this come from?
Just really don't realize it until you actually start talking about that movie. Like, holy shit, it was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like I said before, I wanted to like it. I went into it wholeheartedly being like, people don't give this movie a good enough chance. And then, like, right off the back, like, I was like, oh, damn.
I think the problem was, they geared this movie towards kids a lot, but it's not, I mean, it's more shit. It's more people like our age that are really,
Yeah.
like, jumping on this shit. Because, I mean, hell, I watched it as a kid, I fucking loved it then.
Yeah.
But it's like, now I watch it and I just criticize every aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, like, I mean, how old was I when it came out? Like, when 2002? It was already, like, what, 14, 15 when it came out? So, I mean, it's not like I was expecting it to be a kid's movie. I mean, it's a space movie, so obviously Star Wars. I personally never thought about Star Wars as a kid's movie. I mean, I was kind of like in my early teens and stuff, but
I just feel like
then,
when Lucas did the prequels, he kind of geared it more towards kids in a sense.
Well,
with like a lot
with the
of it.
first one, it makes sense because
like,
we're looking at
especially with like all the choreography that was
Yeah.
involved. Like, honestly, that was probably one of the best parts of fucking episode 2.
Yeah.
But that goes throughout the whole like prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
They had some pretty good choreography in there.
Yeah, and
It's
I mean,
just the
with
dialogue was bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the only thing I can say is yeah. Because, I mean, just, like, looking back at it, like we were talking about last time, was, it just doesn't seem right. like, the way it's done, like, the way they talk.
Yeah, that's the
It's,
thing.
like,
The
it's
dialogue
very,
was
so,
just
like, I can't
bland and, like, monotone and...
I'm haunted by the kiss that you should never have given me.
like, monotone and...
like, it just, like I said, yeah, like, it doesn't seem like I'm trying to put my finger right at the point I don't like about it, and it's just like, that's not how humans interact. That's the whole thing. I mean, the best interaction of the movie is when Obi-Wan goes into some random diner, and the guy's like, Obi-Wan, take a seat. I'll be right with you. You know? And then they had like that discussion. He's like, oh, you see this little things gives it away. It's from them cloners. You know?
I have to ask real quick, man.
What?
How did we sit down to do an episode about Clone Wars and then just automatically start talking shit about episode 2 again?
It's just so easy to do. Besides, it all leads up to like the point what I was trying to make, which is that in the movie of Clone Wars, Obi-Wan is a war criminal.
Oh.
No, one of the beginning scenes. So they're being overrun by the droid army, right? So then he just basically gives up and he's like, I surrender. And while he's like negotiating the terms of surrender, he literally has like his clone troopers like attack. And I mean, you can't do that because once you surrender, well, you surrendered. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude, this guy's over here being like a war criminal. You know? And I was like, damn, dude. He was a lot more ruthless than I ever gave him credit for.
Yeah.
And had a lot less patience for Anakin. Which I actually thought about it. I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about Clone Wars, and I'm probably going to backtrack back into episode 2. But I was thinking about this yesterday, I think. I don't remember. But I was like, it makes sense. Because Obi-Wan was still a Padawan when Qui-Gon was like, oh, look, I found a new apprentice. And he's like, Obi-Wan, get out of here. And then he ended up dying. And then he's basically like, Obi-Wan, don't get out of here. Here's a child. Teach him. So it's basically like if you look at it, it's kind of like the dad being like, you're old enough, son. So now I'm only going to focus on your little brother. And then he's like, oh, shit, never mind. I'm dying. As the older brother, focus on your little brother. Teach him. Teach him. And then that's it. That was literally like what happened. Is it true?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. But we're like a while into this and we haven't even started talking about Clone Wars.
No. You brought up Obi-Wan as a war criminal.
That's true.
I
Okay.
think that was maybe like 2 seconds out of the video so far, but we talked about Clone Wars.
Yeah, and then we're talking also like, so then that shit gets introduced, right? So, and then we're looking at Ahsoka Tano comes in, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be Obi-Wan's new apprentice, and when she shows up, she's like, oh, I'm actually gonna be Anakin's new apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that was the highlight of the Clone Wars movie. Just,
Yeah.
you know, Ahsoka's first appearance, pretty much. You know, I'm sorry, and Obi-Wan is a war criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, the storyline was kind of
Why
you
didn't like that they were like looking for Jabba's son or something like that? What was it? They were looking for Jabba's son, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
They were trying to like rescue his son or something and bring him back to Jabba.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, the whole thing is just like overdone. Like, I feel like, that should have been like an episode of Clone Wars, not a whole movie.
Yeah.
It was just, So, highlight of the actual movie, we see Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan's a war criminal.
Yeah, but then it was like early Ahsoka was annoying as hell. And I know there's been videos.
She really was, yes.
Like there's videos that explain it, and she was like, oh, well, she just kind of came into it, and she was like super cocky and this and that, and she had to like learn humility. So basically it's like one of those characters that they were like, oh, so they brought the character, and over time they developed the character. And it makes sense because if it would have just been the Clone Wars movie without the 7 seasons of show,
yeah,
we would have been like, what the hell is that? I mean, because I remember watching the movie back in 2008 and then thinking like, yo, like all this time of Star Wars and Anakin has never had an apprentice. He himself, except for like Starkiller, who was like the secret apprentice, I was like, he's never actually had a Padawan. But then again, we never really knew much about him as a Jedi, right? Because we literally just kind of skipped through it, and then, you know, like he's like a Padawan, and then he's a knight, and he's denied the rank of master. But that comes later. Okay.
I was waiting for that.
You know? So this is like the only time, actually the first time, you know, where we actually get like a full story of him as a Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
Although personally, I wish they would have done more between seasons. Not seasons. Episode 1 and 2. I would have had loved personally. I would have loved to see the development of Master and Apprentice between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I thought that would.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like they kind of, maybe eventually we'll get something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of just jumped the gun on that. It's like out of nowhere, you go for episode 2, just he's still a Padawan, and then it just kind of jumps into him being a friggin'
Jedi Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, a straight general in the fucking Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like poof. Oh, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, actually, there's one I kind of forgot about it, but they have like the other Clone Wars series, the extra cartoon one, where it kind of explains
it. Actually shows his knighting and stuff in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it.
That was like those little,
it,
little like 15-minute episodes or something that they.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's like an hour and some change. Yeah, that's the one where you see like Mace Windu when he loses his lightsaber and it's just like.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, like you see that one because even then he was a little bit angry about it, and then you see him like when he gets knighted, he loses his little like rat tail.
Yeah, that
little rat tail.
Horrible looking thing. Like, oh,
dude, I remember so many kids did it. Dude, when I was
those poor bastards.
When I was in 6th grade, and the Phantom Menace came out, I remember so many kids were walking around with little rat tails. Oh, God. And I was like, yes, I wanted one so bad. And I'm kind of glad.
So horrible.
I know, but I wanted to be a Padawan because I'm like, yo, I'm young. I can be a Padawan. I'll be a master by the time I'm like old. And I'm not.
I was about to say, so how do you see yourself now?
Honestly, I see myself.
Yourself?
All right, so in the story of Star Wars, if I would have been a Jedi, I would have probably been a Padawan, been a Jedi for about a year, and then left the Order.
I was about to say, that's how I would see myself. Like, honestly, I don't think I would have made it to friggin' knighthood. I would have fucking left the Order. Yeah. I couldn't deal with all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I would have been Ahsoka. I would have booked it. Like, nope. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah. They would have been like, you will live a life of servitude. And I'm like, but I want to go have fun.
Fucking look at him. Can I keep this, though? Hold up your lightsaber.
I think you can, right? I mean, Ahsoka didn't keep hers because they took him away because she got arrested. And then she gets like, she literally walks away when she gets released.
Yeah, they were going to hand him back to her. Like, here you go. You can come back. And she's like, no. Yeah. I don't want it. Fuck you.
But that's like, I think, and left all the seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like, when she comes back, like, as a consultant, you know, when all the 501st have, like, face painted like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, like, the whole thing where they're, like, weapons. And then Anakin gives her the 2 blue lightsabers.
That was cool.
Which she has momentarily because she leaves them behind, like, a few episodes later. And then we see the end of the series when it's just Darth Vader.
Yeah. Picking up them, just looking like, oh shit.
Yeah. He's like, she's dead, but she wasn't dead.
Yeah.
And then later on she picks up some white ones, but I'm not really sure where she got those from. At least not yet.
Doesn't necessarily explain it, but like, we don't see it.
It's like in a book or something, I think.
Yeah, apparently.
But I haven't read that one.
Apparently it was like a... It was Sith's lightsabers.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And she kind of cleansed them or some shit.
Or something. Yeah,
that's why they're white blades. Yeah. But
I mean, I would hope they would try and put that into something we can view eventually. So that'd be badass. But. Yeah.
But, you know, we're, like, trying to stay in topic at the same time jumping back and forth between, like, 7 seasons.
Well, I mean, it's Clone Wars. There's a lot to talk about. And,
yeah,
so...
So, like, one of the things I liked about the series as a whole was that, like, before we're talking shit about, like, the Clone Wars, this gives us so much more... we were talking shit
about the beginning
but here's the thing. No, but here's the thing, though. Because past the movie, like, the series as a whole, it's good. It's really good.
I honestly enjoyed the series.
For the most part. There's a few episodes here and there that I'm like, that was unnecessary.
Like, that was a recent watch for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you cannot forget how bad the movie was, because you get like all this explanation that happens throughout this whole
Oh
time.
yeah.
So by the time you get to episode 3, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, all this stuff happened, even though.
Speaking of, I've been wanting to jump into this one for a while because it bugs the shit out of me. But when I watched it, it was the coolest thing. Yoda. What? I think it's like the end of season 6 or something. Qui-Gon starts talking to Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
He starts communicating with Yoda, talking to him like, "Oh, I'm gonna teach you friggin' the whole path of immortality, the life after death type thing." And so learning all that, finding out where Yoda's getting it, that was kind of cool to watch. But I have to say, Disney likes fucking everything up. I mean, the end of friggin' Obi-Wan, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but out of nowhere, Qui-Gon pops up as a Force ghost. It's like, okay. In Clone Wars, Yoda asked Qui-Gon,
Show yourself, can you?
I cannot. My training was incomplete.
"No, I did not get that far in my training while I was alive.
Yeah.
So I can only talk to you."
Yeah, at that
But then
point
out
in
of
time-
nowhere, poof, Force ghost.
At that point in time. And
So,
it's
hold
been
on.
like
Dude,
10 years?
You're still going to argue
It's
this.
been 10 years?
So what, he learned while he was dead?
Yeah. I mean, not only that, but did you notice that his hair was longer and he looked older? So,
Hey,
he
yeah, that's
aged.
because his actor aged.
Yeah,
But,
but they could have like CGI that shit. They didn't want to tell us that. But you know what they told us? They literally told us, if you're a Force ghost, you still age.
Okay, good for him. I still call bullshit.
Oh,
Because
also,
why
okay.
would he have said,
Show yourself, can you?
I cannot. My training was incomplete.
could have
Point-
straight told
at that
Yoda,
point,
like,
he had only-
I
okay.
haven't learned it yet. I will, but not yet.
Because,
He's like, no, I can't do it.
yeah.
Not,
but-
I'm going to learn it.
okay, but Qui-Gon was always scripted. Remember when he was like talking to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan was like, but Master Yoda told me to be mindful of the future. And it's like, but not at the expense of the moment. Remember that scene? So
Yes.
he's always very cryptic about what he means and what he says.
Cryptic, but yeah,
So,
when he
okay,
was
so-
talking
okay,
to Yoda,
so-
I mean, he was pretty straightforward on that.
Yeah, and then 10 years happened. So between that time and the other time, it had been about 10 years.
And out of nowhere, some fucking goddamn blip in the universe, in the Force, just magically mastered.
Look, it's been another 10
Poof,
years.
I'm a ghost now.
Yeah. It took him 20 years to do something he couldn't do in 10. Okay?
You gotta stop trying to argue this, dude. It doesn't work.
Okay. Also,
Disney fucked up.
May I remind you again
Disney
that this
fucked
entire story is being told by a droid 100 years after it
Oh my
happened.
god.
The entire thing is being told 100 years after it happened by a droid who wasn't even there at the time.
This goddamn droid has a fucking virus or something, because it is all fucked in the head.
Look, he was trying to make an entertaining story. That's it. He was trying to make an entertainment story. And for the most part, it worked. We're here talking about it like 40 years after it was made.
Yeah, but now he's just pissing off the fans.
I
Because
don't know.
Disney made the droid talk and tell a fucked up story.
Look, here's the thing, though.
I'm pretty sure if Disney did their fucking research, maybe they would have realized, like, oh, no, we can't make him pop up as a Force ghost. Well, he'll just talk to Obi-Wan, He could just talk to him.
Hey, remember that skit with Kyle Richards? No, I'm just kidding.
See?
Come out of that sort of
And
good.
even Yoda, too. Okay, this is kind of jumping the gun a little bit, too, talking episode 3. At the end of it, he's talking to Obi-Wan,
Okay.
how to communicate with him. I will teach you,
Okay, so
and it's
here's...
like,
Okay.
he's like, I'm not going to teach you how to fucking see him. I'm going to
Okay.
teach you how to communicate with him. You want to know why, Obi-Wan? Because your master did not get that far in his fucking training. He can't pop up like that.
Okay,
But he can talk to you.
but here's the thing, though. If we go back to the 80s, to before a lot of explanation was given, there's no mention of Anakin ever even beginning to learn how to become a Force Ghost, right? And not only that, but the whole conversation happens after Order 66 has already happened, which Anakin is technically already Darth Vader at this point.
Yeah.
And when Darth Vader dies in episode 6, he becomes a Force Ghost. Not only does he become a Force Ghost...
No, that is true.
But-
That was another fuck up. That
but-
was a Lucas fuck up. Because when he
but-
was doing this...
But... Okay, can I please finish? But... when they did the remastered re-release in the 2000s, whatever...
Yeah.
They changed
they
them,
changed
and
it
now
to
it's
Hayden
Hayden
Christensen.
Christensen.
Yeah,
which
it
means
was
that as a
horrible.
Force Ghost, you can go old, you can go young, you can grow your hair. Maybe
That was just
it
Lucas trying to fucking...
maybe it
you know-
just takes you 10 extra years to learn how to be a Force Ghost and
Or-
how to grow your hair and be older as a Force Ghost.
Or
and also, why are we
Lucas
arguing about this?
just decided
We're
to
not
say-
even in those episodes yet. We're
Well,
arguing about
you brought that up.
something.
But
You're
yes.
the one that was like, it's bugging me. You're the one that was like, hey man,
At least
let's
mine
talk about
coincided
something.
with Clone Wars.
What was mine?
You
Oh,
just jumped
okay.
to fucking Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay, fine.
That was just Lucas like, oh, no one knows this guy, you know, is friggin' Anakin Skywalker. Since the prequels came out, everyone knows Hayden Christensen. Let's do another rework of the fucking movie. And change shit.
Well, to be fair, he likes to rework his movies because even just recently he did the whole thing when they dropped on Disney Plus like 2-3 years ago, and he added those lines. Everyone was complaining about it. Where Grudo's about to shoot Han, he says something. He's like a whoop 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 whoop. I don't know what the hell he says. What did he say?
I don't remember.
If I find the clip, I might put it in here. If not, it's just gonna be just saying that I'm gonna put a clip in here, and I'm not really gonna put a clip in here.
Yeah. Either way, I call bullshit on the fucking Qui-Gon Force Ghost.
You know what? I think this is gonna deserve a few more episodes. I don't think I can like give the Clone Wars justice in just one. But here's the thing about being a Force Ghost. Up until Disney took it over, Siths could also be Force Ghost. And now they can't. Only the light side can be Force Ghost. So, again, they switched something, but
But
I'm thinking.
I'm feeling.
But Anakin was technically still a villain, and he was still on the dark side, and yet he still became a Force Ghost. And don't give me the whole redemption thing, because it's like if it's a criminal, I'm like, let me just mass murder people, and just walk around with knives going, hi, I like to murder, stab, 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 stab. Ha 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 ha. I like to murder some more, stab, 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 stab. Oh hey, what's up, friend? Stab, 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 stab. And then I'm like, oh wait, that puppy is drowning. I cannot live with myself if I allow an animal to suffer. And then I just jump into the water, and I'm swimming, and I'm swimming, and I grab the puppy, and I race the puppy, and I save the puppy. Am I less of a criminal because I saved the puppy, but I just stabbed like 6 people?
But hey, we'll let you in on a secret. It's still bullshit.
The whole thing is bullshit. And some guy just made it up, and then he just didn't like the way it was going, and then he just kind of rewrote it as he went along. It's not the first time they do that. What's her name? They did the Harry Potter movie. She wrote a book about a magical school before she wrote the Harry Potter series because she didn't like her original book. What's his name? J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote The Hobbits and Lord of the Rings. He literally changed his lore like years after it was published, and he went through and rewrote certain areas and rewrote the lore. The thing is that most people write a story and then later on they have a change of mind, or there's certain things that don't add up, and they're like, hey, you know what? I want this to be better. I want this to be worse. I want to change
bullshit.
this. The whole thing is bullshit, dude.
Yes, okay. I got my little rant out of the way with Qui-Gon. Okay, let's talk more Clone Wars.
I don't know. We're about 25 minutes. And with that, we were out. No, I'm just kidding. Not yet. Maybe a few more minutes. But I kind of lost track of what I was talking about now. Oh, yeah. People are allowed to go back and re-edit their work, I guess. Like, if I were to write a book, and then 12 years from now, I'm like, you know what? I didn't like that one particular line. And then I change it. And then it's like in The Lion King where originally Zazu was just like, oh, here's a report. And then like 10 years later, they're like, the morning report. The morning report. It added nothing to the story. It took away nothing from the story. It was just something that was thrown there because somebody at some point thought to themselves, this would have been better. And honestly, I wasn't a big fan of it. But I have the movie, and I've watched the movie, and sometimes I pointed out to my kids, and I'm like, hey kids, when I was a child, there was no morning report song. It was just him talking and giving a report. Now there's a song about it. And not only was there a song about it, but when I was like in high school, that they released a DVD, they made a big deal about it, and Disney kept playing like this whole thing about like how they re-edited and they remade it, and they had to hire an act like a voice actor or whatever to sing the part to kind of match the voice of the guy who was saying the music back in like in the early 90s. There was like this whole thing. They made it like it was gonna be like an amazing thing, and honestly, to a certain point, I was like, did they change the movie? And then I watched it, and I was like, no, they didn't change the movie. They just added a song. Now Luke was a Jedi once, and I was very disappointed in The Last Jedi. And also, I'm pretty much just kind of talking on my ass because I have no idea where I'm going with this. But here's what it's going to go, okay?
Why?
Here's what we're going to do.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Okay, but here's where we're going with this, okay?
Here's sitting here quietly trying
Listening.
to figure out where you're going, but...
Here's where we're going with this, okay? Here's where we're going to go with this. Lucas,
Are you
George
going to get back
Lucas.
into Clone Wars?
Yes, George Lucas had an idea set in his heart when he was a young man, and he thought to himself, what if I wrote a movie about a guy who went on an adventure, and then he met this other guy, another director, very famous, named Steven Spielberg, and they were like, should we collab? And then they came up with Indiana Jones.
Once again, where is Clone Wars coming into this?
Coming back into full circle.
Are you sure? 'Cause
Yes.
Now
okay.
you're going into freaking completely another
No.
franchise.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford is in both of them, right? Harrison Ford is in both of them?
He wasn't in Clone Wars.
He was in one episode, I think. I don't remember.
I don't think
think so. Okay, but Harrison Ford was was Indiana Jones, right? So we're just gonna go with that. And then there's like a in a comic where like
right.
Indiana Jones finds the Millennium Falcon, and it's got like the fossilized remains of Chewie and Han Solo. So what I'm getting at is that people are allowed to change their lore, and if you wrote the story, do it if you want, I guess. But then this whole term where people are like, headcanon. So don't expect the fans or the people that like this to appreciate what you're trying to rebuild when you've already built it and presented it one way, and then out of nowhere you're like, hold on, now it's made out of Legos. It's no longer solid concrete bricks.
This
And
is
we're
like
like,
one of the
what?
most interesting talking out of your ass moments. So I think like the last 5-10 minutes.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I know exactly
You've been
what.
so out there and literally talking out of your ass.
Okay, well, here's what I was getting at.
You were right though.
What?
This can't be one episode. This is gonna have to be part one.
Anyway, I don't know. We're like at almost 30 minutes. So we're going to just cut it out there.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess part 2 next time.
The camera's up there. I know you keep looking at this.
Oh, sorry. Part 2 next time. There you go.
Goodbye, peoples.
Laters.